Is it true that you wanted Kraven to be your bad guy? And I guess how far down the road did you get? Is there an iteration where Michael B is playing Kraven the Hunter?
You what?
What it do, yo? It's your boy Ken Barker here at the Too Easy King. Hopefully you guys are good today. Happy Saturday, but by the time I post this, it's probably gonna be like Sunday or Monday. Yeah, welcome. Real quick, I wanted to talk about. Honestly, I wasn't gonna react to it, but I wanted to react to Ryan Coogler and some of the things he said as of recent over things that came out. I believe Comic Book posted this, and he also did an interview with, if I'm not mistaken, Josh Horowitz. And so, yeah, man, he's been telling a lot this past week. I'm just getting updated on it. And so, yeah, man, it looks like he's been saying quite a bit this week. And honestly, I mean, I think he's probably one of the greatest directors of our time, Ryan Coogler. I mean, it's evident. Black Panther, Fruitvale Station. I mean, banger after banger. You know what I mean? He has such a great career. And so, with the whole situation with Black Panther, he had a certain vision for it. And so according to Comic Book, originally it was supposed to be like an 8-day ritual type thing, that it was supposed to explore the relationship between father and son. And then, I guess there's like a ritual in Wakanda where they send the child out to to the wilderness or the bush or whatever they call it. They send them out there with the father. And so the child has to obey the father directly, and then the son can ask the father any question. It sounded pretty dope. It actually sounded pretty solid. And so, unfortunately, Chadwick never got to fulfill that movie. He ended up passing away due to cancer. And so it sounded pretty dope the way he explained it on the according to Comic Books. But yeah, man, I mean, it sounded pretty dope. And like I said, I wasn't going to talk about it, but Chadwick Boseman is one of my favorite actors. I ain't gonna lie, man. I mean, after I saw 42, I was hooked. And so, I can honestly say he's one of my favorite actors, or was my favorite actor. And yeah, it's just unfortunate how he passed. But going into this interview, though, I guess they dive deep into what Black Panther 2 should have been with Josh Horowitz. And I'm not going to lie to you. If you guys are OG fans here at the Too Easy Podcast, you guys know that I hated Wakanda Forever. And so we all know that movie wasn't even supposed to even be out or whatnot. And I was one of those few people saying recast Black Panther, not because I want to get rid of Chadwick's legacy, but I wanted someone else to be able to continue it. You know what I mean? Like, Black Panther was great in the comics, great in cartoons and animations, but that movie brought Black Panther to a whole nother level. Of course, by Chadwick Boseman and on all of them. But a legacy like that, you got to continue. And I was one of the few people saying that, hey, you got to recast him. Not, and even his brother, from my understanding, Chadwick's brother, or his a family member of his was saying, yeah, recast him, close family member of his. And so, yeah, man, I was one of those voices saying recast T'Challa. And so I was always mad that they didn't do it and the route they went. And then I'm not going to lie, that Wakanda Forever was a mess, but it was like, it was a decent mess. It was actually okay. Wasn't my cup of tea. But, I feel like Black Panther 2 should have been way better. It should have been something, it should have been something that knocked people's socks off. Like, I like with the script that supposedly was going to be written, like, it sounded like it was going to be a dope sequel. I don't know, even with the script that they said that he was supposed to write, I don't know if that would have been better than the first one with Chadwick, but still, it would have been amazing. I'm pretty sure. Knowing Ryan Coogler, and Ludwig Grossman, if I'm not mistaken. I mess up his name. He works directly with Ryan Coogler mostly, and so yeah, which is who he's a great composer, and so he's made a lot of great scores, and so I'm sure the movie would have been amazing. But it's just like, he did the best that he could, and so like I said, I don't blame any of the actors or any of the actors or the director, for any of the mishaps the second one had or Wakanda Forever had. It was actually better than I expected, but it wasn't it. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, wasn't it? And so yeah, man, and so yeah, it was always sad to see that they pretty much stopped Black Panther in that universe, and now that we have the multiverse, there's a lot of things that can happen and everything. I hope in part three, it's kind of they can kind of redeem his character, you know, and see what kind of relationship like a multiversal T'Challa would have with that universe's son. I don't know who they would bring in to be T'Challa, and in the multiverse, or how they're gonna do it when they bring the worlds together, the universes together. But I don't know, man. I ain't gonna lie, I'm skeptical with this phase, as I'm sure everybody is. I mean, the whole woke agenda that's been thrown, that's been thrown out there in the MCU is just like, I don't know how I feel about it. But I say all that just to go into this video because I don't know, but I think the script for the new movie, or what he had planned with Kraven and everything, I think Sony said no or something like that. I think that would have been amazing. One, it would have redeemed Kraven's character. Like Kraven, that movie sucked, but the character wasn't half bad. The movie sucked, but the character wasn't half bad, and he could actually be used. Like Kraven was like a last ditch effort by Sony to try to make money. Try to make money without having to collab with MCU or Disney Marvel. And so yeah, no, it was bad. And so let's check out this video. Let's see what Ryan Coogler has to say about it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know. Even with the script, I just don't know how this would have played out if Chadwick would have still been alive. Rock with Ryan Coogler, but I don't know. But at least with this part right here, with Kraven being in the story, I think it would have been dope. But at the same time, I don't know if it would have worked. I don't know. But let's see what you got to say.
Black Panther. I mean, that was a film that was obviously being talked about for years and years and years, and they went through different iterations.
Suck my dick. You didn't hear any of that, did you? Neither did I. Because here on YouTube, we have to play the YouTube games, which everything gets censored and everything has to be cut up. So, unfortunately, you're not going to hear anything. So, and I'm sure you've been hearing a lot of our videos being censored, being cut, being blurted out, etc., etc., and etc. But we have the solution, baby. And that solution is Patreon. So what Patreon does for us is allow us to upload our unedited, unfiltered, uncut content. That way you get every second of everything that we're doing on this podcast. That way you don't miss any mishaps, any foul-ups. You're going to catch it all. And we got a deal going on right now for $3.99 a month for 2 easy access. So what you get is unfiltered, unedited, uncut content, early access to our videos that you're going to be able to see days before they're uploaded onto YouTube. And you're also going to get one-on-one virtual interactions. You're also going to get private live streams. And very soon, merchandise. But, everything's a slow step. So walk with us as we go on this journey, because we can't do it without you. But anyways, make sure you're subscribed and make sure you're hitting us up on Patreon. Much love.
Is it true that you wanted Kraven to be your bad guy. And I guess how far down the road did you get? Is there an iteration where Michael B is playing Kraven the Hunter?
Pause.
No. Mike was always gonna be Killmonger.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm glad he cleared that up. I don't know why dog was even thinking that. That would have been horrible. I'm not gonna lie, that would have been horrible.
And when I when I took that job, Joe Robert Cole, who's my co-writer on both the Panthers, right. And he's a director now. You know what I mean? Like showrunner. He's working in Atlanta on an adaptation for Netflix. But yeah, when I took the job, Joe had been working with Marvel and Nate Moore on. They had an outline, and so when I showed up, it was like, hey, we have our villains. Our villains are Claw and Eric Killmonger. Okay. So that had been decided upon. You know what I'm saying? And so.
Oh, is he saying that Kraven was supposed to be in the first Black Panther with Claw, Killmonger, and then it was supposed to be Kraven in there? That would have been crazy. But I think that would have been too much added to the story. I think the story was perfect. Like, Black Panther is a perfect movie. It's almost perfect movie. There's some scenes in there that are like a little spotty, CGI wise. But other than that, it's near perfect movie.
No, I'm lying now, bro. Lying now. And the outline of villains were Claw and Killmonger, but they weren't sure. Like Claw felt slightly modular to them. You know what I mean? And obviously it was the great Andy Serkis. So I'm like hyped to work with him. But they also had they wanted to base it on the Christopher Priest run of Panther. And he's got an awesome. His run like starts with a fight with Panther and Kraven in the kitchen. Like that's like the first thing. It's like Ross, Panther, Kraven fighting in the kitchen.
Yeah,
and I was like, yo, like if I could, I'm a big Spider-Man fan. Especially Spider-Man the animated series.
Mm-hmm.
Kraven's great in that. He also like great in the books. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yo, like can I have Kraven in this movie? And they were like, we don't think so.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
But let us.
Oh, it was Sony that said no to him. Dang. So Sony said no to him. You played yourself, Sony. Yeah, it was Sony. My bad. I know I said it earlier, but my bad. This kind of confirming it. Yeah, it was Sony that said no to Ryan, because I know somebody else said it. But yeah, Sony, you played yourself. You played yourself badly. This would have helped y'all out big time. Man, you dropped the ball, Sony. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Let's check right quick. So they hit Sony, and Sony was like, absolutely not. So they came back to me and was like, yo, we can't do it. So I was like, okay, so it was, but it was.
They said no, so which I'm guessing this is what happened. They said no so they can make that terrible movie. Y'all should have said yes, man. Y'all should have said yes. That would have been amazing, though. I ain't gonna lie, that would have been amazing. But I think it would have been a waste of that character, because that movie had so much in it. I still don't think it would have worked with Kraven in there. I feel like he should have been by himself in part 2, unless that's what he's saying, that he couldn't get Kraven for part 2. But either way, that would have been crazy.
It was like a 2-week process where I was developing some ideas, but I'm glad it didn't work out, because Kraven would have basically like taken that Claw spot,
right? And we denied the great Andy Serkis, yeah, of course.
And I wouldn't have been able to work with Andy. You know what I'm saying? So it was like,
yeah, there was too much going on in that movie. I think it worked for what it was, and so. Yeah, man. I mean, it was the right move not to have Kraven, but if you would have had a story with Chadwick Boseman, and then Namor comes in, and then Kraven's trying to capitalize on all the chaos in the middle of it, because that's kind of what Kraven does type stuff. And so that would have been dope for part 2 with Chadwick if he would have lived longer. RIP to the man. But yeah, man, let me know what you guys think about this, man. I ain't gonna lie. That actually would have been a dope story. I ain't gonna front with y'all. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you want me to react to anything more about this situation. I just been seeing it. Honestly, I didn't want to react to it, but since I love the character so much, I was like, yeah, let's go and do a reaction video. But anyways, let me know in the comments how you feel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And when you subscribe, hit that bell notification button so you're notified every time we drop. But until next time, y'all, it's been real. It's been raw. It's been too easy, y'all. Much love.